Encouraging the climbing spirit. We look into the great facilities of the Eagle Climbing and Fitness Gym. Then, meet the reporters. We sit down with the wonderful Ben Roof and tell you all about our experience with the local athletics. And finally, a midnight race. We meet with the Battle Mountain Nordic Team before the Moonlight Race here in Vail Nordic Center. All this here on the Scoreboard. Hello and welcome to the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Brett Ferraro, and we have a great show for you tonight. First, we talked to Ben Roof, one of our great field reporters, about his experiences with the athletics here in the Valley. And we talk with one of the Battle Mountain Nordic captains before the big Moonlight Race here at the Vail Nordic Center. But first, are you looking for a great way to stay in shape inside or try the new great sport of climbing? Well, the Eagle Climbing and Fitness Center has you covered. We're going to look more into their great facilities and awesome equipment. Let's take a look.
We are here with the Scoreboard with Larry of the Eagle Climbing and Fitness Center. Could you tell us a little bit about your facility, please, Larry?
Yeah, so this is a custom-built facility designed for this intent, and we opened just about 4 years ago. We are not only a climbing facility, but we also have a yoga studio and fitness areas for our members and guests. It's all part of the same membership or entry fee. We have climbing for beginning at 3-year-olds all the way up to nationally ranked competitive climbers and high-end adult athletes training for their projects throughout the West.
So if anybody wanted to join your gym or get a membership, how would they contact you?
So our website is eagleclimbing.com. That's got all the details. You can actually make purchases through the website. You can give us a call directly, 970-328-0893. We're happy to help either way. Most questions can be answered through the website. We've got a variety of different products available, from day passes, punch cards, monthly memberships, 6-month annual memberships. We've got a lot of corporate deals for people throughout the Valley. And we do have extensive kids programs ranging from 3 to 5-year-old programs, day camps when kids are out from school, as well as competitive climbing teams and adult workshops.
Could you tell us a little bit about those adult workshops and your kids programming? What are the schedules for those sorts of things?
Sure. So one of our most popular adult classes is the Intro to Climbing class. That's offered on Monday evenings, the first 2 Mondays and last 2 Mondays of every month. It's only $150 for 4 hours of private instruction, as well as all the gear rentals. It includes a 2-week membership as well with the gear rentals, so people can come in and learn a little bit about climbing and then get on the wall on their own for another week, and then come in. The second session is more focused on belaying, tying in, all the safety aspects, so that we get them to learn all those aspects as well. So that's a great product on Mondays. We also offer Getting to 510 for advancing climbing skills, Learn to Lead classes, indoor to outdoor climbing classes, Learn to Rappel classes, a variety of different things for adults. And then the kids programs vary from after school climbing club to day camp programs. Again, we have a 3 to 5-year-old Eaglet programs on Sundays at 10 a.m. After school programs for Youth Power 365 and a variety of different organizations throughout the Valley. And then our competition teams practice throughout the week, depending upon the age and the skill levels of those competitive climbers.
So that introductory class that you said you had on Mondays, correct? Mm-hmm. That's like the best way for people who are interested in getting into climbing for them to start?
Absolutely, yeah. They get full knowledge on technique, footwork, body position, reading routes, just an introduction to everything that they need to know about the auto belay systems, about bouldering, and then again in the second week they learn how to belay, so they're able to get on the ropes So it's a fabulous class. It teaches everybody what they need to know to get into climbing, gives them a 2-week membership to do that, as well as the gear. So it's generally something that people kind of use to get going with climbing, and typically we have those folks come back for another class or get a membership as well.
Fantastic. As we start moving into the winter, I imagine that a lot of climbers are going to be starting to head inside. Is there any programming that you guys have that kind of specific towards the winter, or anything on the schedule coming up?
So we do an adult bouldering league throughout the fall, winter, and spring. So that's a great way for people, adults, to get together. A little bit of competition, but more about camaraderie, getting people to meet one another and have fun on brand new boulders that are set specifically for that league. And then it just is very natural, like you said, during the winter, most people start to migrate indoors for their training, so there's a lot of adult sessions that take place. We're busiest on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings with our competitive teams. So after 7 is typically when you see a lot of the adults show up and take advantage of the gym being a little bit slower. During the day is another option for those adults to really get in and do a lot of training without a bunch of other people in the gym with them.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Larry, thank you so much for your time.
You bet.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
This is the Eagle Fitness and Climbing Center, and this has been the Scoreboard.
Hello and welcome back to the Scoreboard. We're going to do a very special segment where at the beginning of this year we're going to introduce both myself and our field reporter, Ben Root. Ben, you're a local kid, right? How long have you been in the Valley?
Born and raised in the Vail Valley. My parents met here at ski school in Beaver Creek. Then I was born over in Vail. I've been here 25 years, I'm 30 now. I spent 5 years living both in the Front Range and out in Eastern Europe.
So lots of experience with the Valley, lots of interaction with the local youth sports teams. What was sort of your favorite sport growing up?
Growing up, I played a lot of hockey. I started playing hockey really young, and then I played varsity hockey, almost played college hockey, almost played in the NHL too.
Yeah.
And then I suffered a neck injury. I broke my C3 vertebrae my senior year, and that kind of ended my hockey career a little bit.
Yeah. But super exciting. You're an extremely athletic individual if you think you would have made it at that level, which I have no doubt that you would have been. But you also did some other sports as well, lacrosse, I've heard before.
Yeah, I played 3 years of varsity lacrosse. I was a lacrosse player all 4 years of high school. But our first year, the lacrosse program in the Valley was really pretty young, and neither Battle Mountain or Eagle Valley High School had a real varsity program yet. It wasn't until my sophomore year that both programs became officially CHASA varsity in the Colorado High School Sports Association.
And you played lacrosse with Eagle Valley, correct?
Yes, I played lacrosse for Eagle Valley, and I played varsity hockey for 2 years with Battle Mountain, my senior and junior year.
That's super exciting. So definitely a lot of great interactions with our local teams. What were some of the lessons you learned that you're using today from these experiences?
I gotta say, I think the biggest lesson that I took away from my sports career as a kid is how important determination and work is to achieve a goal. Any goal out there, if you aren't gonna be able to find it in yourself to pursue that goal against the odds, then you won't achieve it. Like, I mean, whether it's like improving your skiing or trying to make, a travel team or a varsity team or anything like that, it's that level of determination that will separate you from your competitors. Like, it's, what makes you good at anything is putting in more work than anybody else is willing to do.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a great thing that sports have taught me as well, is great determination and hard work, for sure. And so now looking more into the present, what sort of activities are you up to nowadays?
Nowadays, I really don't play that much hockey or lacrosse anymore. When I was in my big summer sport was always martial arts. I did Shotokan karate, hapkido, and jiu-jitsu. And then in college, I was actually on the University of Denver D1 Taekwondo team for 2 years as well. But now most of my athletics is, your typical mountain stuff. Like I go skiing a lot. I do a lot of hiking, a lot of backpacking, a lot of camping, that sort of thing. I'm kind of getting into kayaking a little bit, but it's kind of hard to get into kayaking when you don't have any friends who kayak.
And you don't really want to go alone either.
And I don't want to drown, exactly.
No, for sure. But it's still great that you're still out and enjoying the nature of our valley and enjoying all the great things that we could experience here for ourselves. Sort of going away from sports, however, sort of what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What takes up most of your time?
So I do a lot of photography and videography. I obviously work here at TV8 as a field reporter. I do some of the camera work for Good Morning Vail and some of those sort of programs. I also take photos for like the Vail Daily. I do a lot of like photography, branding work, some fine art photography, and some social photography as well.
Super exciting stuff. Ben, thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll be right back with some more Scoreboard.
We are back on the Scoreboard, continuing our sort of introducing the hosts, and myself being the field reporter. I'm Ben Roof, and we've got Brett Ferraro, our host. And I'm going to ask Brett a couple of questions about his history here in the Valley with his sports. So you went to Vail Mountain School, correct?
Yeah, so I grew up in this valley. Technically, I was born in Aspen. Don't hold that against me. But moved here when I was 4, spent many years in our local middle schools, and then eventually ended up at Vail Mountain School and did a bunch of sports for them. Played some soccer for 4 years there. I did Nordic skiing for 2 years, and then I did their telemark team for 2 years, the last 2 years of high school.
So tell me a little bit about the sports, specifically telemark. Let's just start there, since that's something that's a little bit unfamiliar to a lot of people.
Yeah, so I mean, people might know it here, especially being a ski town, what telemark is. But for those that don't know, it's sort of like alpine skiing, but you have your heel free from the ski. And in order to make a turn, you sort of need to do some lunges back and forth. It really creates a more dynamic movement in skiing, which I appreciate. And gives it a little bit more exercise. Also, it just looks really cool. So we would do that, and we would participate in a couple competitions with the telemark team, both just sort of racing gates on telemark skis, but we would also do these things called skin up, ski downs, where you would skin up, ski down, and then skin back up to the top of the run, and whoever made it to the top after the second skin up was the winner. And it was a very interesting competition, like no other skiing I've sort of done up to that point, and it's sort of become a lifelong passion for me. I started doing that.
So telemark and Nordic, was there like a lot of crossover between those two sports?
I mean, the skiing aspect for sure. Both of them have free heel skis, which makes them pretty similar. The only difference is one's going uphill and one's going downhill very, very quickly. But yeah, there was a bit of overlap. Nordic definitely helps me get comfortable with skiing with a free heel, allowing me to, really get into telemark when I went into it. But I loved my time with both sports. They're great activities that are sort of lifelong activities. I still Nordic ski a couple times a year, and I still telemark on the regular on the mountain. So.
What about soccer? Are you still involved in the soccer programs in the Valley much? Or
I would like to be more involved with the local soccer programs. We have such a great soccer environment here, great coaches, all the way from our youngest, the U8s, to all the way to our high school level. We have some of the best in the state. So I do want to get more involved with that. But no, I haven't joined any rec leagues locally here. Played a bit in college, not just for a club team, not D1 or anything. But I really enjoyed it. The team aspect of soccer has really helped me in my life, being able to work well with others and cooperate.
So piggybacking off of that a little bit, like how many of those, big lessons that you learned during your sports career in high school and in childhood that you've taken on to the rest of your life?
Oh, absolutely. So like a lot of just self-determination and grit, especially for Nordic and telemark skiing. Nordic, you just need to push yourself. If you want to be good, you just need to work at it consistently and with great gusto all the time. And it really helped improve my work. And then telemark, just grit, a lot of falling, a lot of getting frustrated with yourself, especially when you come from alpine skiing and you feel like you're a very competent alpine skier. To go to telemark, it's like learning how to walk again almost. But a lot of good grit was learned there, and you eventually get good and you find that it is more enjoyable almost. So with those two, it's helped me throughout the rest of my life for sure.
Well, and telemark skiing is a little bit more traditional skiing in a lot of ways than what we know as alpine skiing with the plastic boots and the lockdown heel. And
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what 10th Mountain was sort of training on, to be able to move freely around the mountains, and it's very traditional, especially up in the Scandinavian countries. But definitely fell out of favor just because alpine, I feel you have a little bit more control and you can go a little faster, but it's still more fun, I think, personally, telemark.
so another question for you then is, tell us a little about your role here with the Scoreboard and what you do as part of our program.
Yeah, so being host, I sort of make sure that all of our great field reporters get out to all of the great sporting events here and make sure they know the times and the places. I also go out and do some field reporting myself. You'll see me interviewing you if you're watching, and you'll see our great Ben as well. And then I, of course, just cut the show together and make sure everything looks nice and pretty. So.
Well, we definitely appreciate the leadership for sure, and the editing work, of course,
appreciate
making me look good.
Well, it's not difficult. We'll just say that then.
Well, thank you so much, Brett, and I would imagine that we've got a commercial break coming up here in just a second.
Welcome back. The Vail Nordic Center is hosting the Moonlight Nordic Race tonight. We had the chance to speak with one of the Battle Mountain captains of the Nordic team and talk to him about why he loves Nordic skiing so much. Let's take a listen. Hello everyone, we are here at the Vail Golf Course where we are talking to the Battle Mountain Huskies Nordic team. I'm with one of their captains. Do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah, my name is Eli Grunberg.
And what year are you, Eli?
I am a senior at Battle Mountain High School.
And how many years have you been doing this amazing sport of Nordic skiing?
I have been Nordic skiing for 4 years.
That's very exciting. So all 4 years of high school, what sort of got you into the sport?
I did cross country, and I thought this would be the most effective transition to another endurance sport.
Oh, absolutely. Make sure your endurance is up. I assume you do track as well in the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, so being able to keep your endurance up, work some of that upper body as well, and be nice and easy on your joints because you're not doing impacts all the time. So very good sport for that. What's sort of your favorite part of the sport?
Favorite part of the sport probably be the ability to bond with the team, and it's just it's an incredible team, and that's what has sucked me in the last 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much better when you're with a good group of people when you're out here, especially when it's cold and everyone's trying to encourage each other to go as fast as they can. Now, there's two different aspects of Nordic skiing. There's classic and there's skate. Which one do you prefer?
I prefer classic.
You really? I was personally more of a skate dude myself because I like to go a little faster. Why do you like classic so much?
I like classic more because I'm strong. Like, it's a lot more upper body, and that's what I'm a lot better at upper body strength and stuff. So it's just, it feels easier for me than
Yeah.
skate skiing.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of a different motion as compared to running, right? Like classic, you're sort of in line with yourself, you're going forward. Skate, you're like going off and you're trying to do a little side thing. So that makes a lot of sense. And you do definitely get that upper body workout in as well. Now, you are a captain this year, being a senior. Are you sort of taking on a little bit of a leadership role, helping some of these younger Nordic skiers and encouraging them to do their best?
Yeah.
Yeah. In what sort of ways are you trying to accomplish that goal, whether it be like skiing with them or like helping train them a little bit in technique?
This would be like, I feel like encouragement for skiing, and I like notice help them with their form, them get out there, do their best.
Yeah.
Overall, if I see them, just try and keep them
moving and,
Yeah.
and doing all
Yeah.
that. Exactly. It's trying to make sure that they're still working their hardest. It gets a little difficult, I assume, when it's cold. People start to freeze up a little. The people are like, oh my God, why am I doing this? At least that's how I was sometimes when I was out here. But it's all about that mental strength here. Do you feel like you're a pretty strong mental person, being able to push yourself and your body past its limits?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, especially being an endurance runner doing cross country, it's a very important aspect to the sport. So I have no doubt, especially doing 4 years of it, that you have built up a sort of resilience to pain and pushing yourself. Couple competitions coming up. What is the competition you are most looking forward to looking into the future?
Like races?
Races, yeah, or
Probably be any of the it'd probably be all the Malloy park race.
Malloy Park race.
That's one of my favorites. It's
A tough race,
yeah,
but
it's hard, but it's rewarding when you get done with it. It's
yeah, for sure. And it's right in our backyard, so I'm sure that helps too without having the long drive. But it also is nice sort of going on some of these longer drives. You get a little bit of the team aspect. You're sort of hanging out with all the members of your team and getting to really form a sort of community, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you said you loved earlier. And so going forward, looking into the future, are you planning on Nordic skiing past your high school career, or not even competitively, just like in general?
yeah, I'd probably. I'm not gonna do it like in college, but I will probably do it recreationally for fun.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm available.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the beauty of the sport as well, is that once you sort of start to get your technique down, it's very difficult to sort of lose it, right? So like, it's something you can sort of pick up every couple of years, be like, oh, you know what? It's snowing out and I sort of want to get a good exercise in. I'll pull out some of my old skis and put them onto the tracks, right?
Yeah.
So that's always fun. Well, you've done Nordic for 4 years. It's a very long time. What do you think have you improved the most in over those 4 years?
Probably mental strength
Yeah.
and physical,
Endurance.
physical endurance, and just
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. Which sort of goes in line with that mental strength,
Yeah.
right? Which you have to have for the sport. Well, thank you so much for being with me. I can't wait to see how well you guys do this year, and go Huskies.
Go Huskies!
That's all the time that we have for this episode of The Scoreboard. If you have any story ideas, please email us at scoreboard@tv8vail.com. And if you've missed any of our recent episodes, you can go to thescoreboardnation.com to see all of our recent content. I've been your host, Brett Ferraro, and I can't wait to see you all next time.